Hello everyone, ATW Blaze 91, Anthony Abel here for another one of these games I bought this month video. I bought quite a few games this month, alongside some accessory stuff as well, which I think would be quite helpful. And yeah, I'll be talking. So I'm going to be going through what games I bought this month, talking about what games I bought, and I want to give a little late celebration to my friend. Well, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. As well as that, talk about games I've been playing and my current plans for the next month, this December coming. So without further ado guys, we're going to talk about what games I got this month. Now first of all, I'm going to start with accessories. First of all, I got myself a little USB plug. A little plug that plugs in through USB, which is going to be nice for my PlayStation Vita. I plan maybe I'll get one of these for my 3DS as well, maybe. Because I've been wanting to get one of these, so it saves me, having to use up my USB slots on my computer, or using my other consoles for when I charge on those, or something. So this kind of gives me like a little neat option. So I figured I'd get this. So I figured I'd get something like that. And now we're on to the main accessory. I got the colourful hand grip for the PlayStation Vita. This is a colourful looking hand grip made for the PlayStation Vita, but in this case this is made for the PlayStation Vita Slim model. In other words, the 2000 models, which are like the current jam versions of the PlayStation Vita. There's like multiple versions of the PlayStation Vita. There's the regular 1000, and there's the 3G version, and then there's the Slim version, or the 2000s. And here I got the grip that's made for the PS Vita 2000. It is very simple. It's a very simple stuff. You hold the device, and what this thing does is allows you to hold the PlayStation Vita like a joypad more comfortably, without getting cramps if you're playing it with like adult hands. And yeah, because you know I've got adult hands and I do get cramps when I'm playing these handheld devices, so this kind of prevents all sorts of cramping. And it is very simple to set up. I did a video on this device on my channel. Yeah, and the quality on that was I know the quality on it isn't very good. You just have to bear with it. You have to bear with it. I tried turning up the brightness as high as I could on it, but oh well, what can you do? I wanted it over and done with anyway. So anyway, here it is, the device, and here is the here's my PlayStation Vita device. It's very simple to set up. You just slot it in there. It's kind of tough doing it on the camera. And then here you go, and then you got this little device, and you got this little slot, and you got this little thing here. And once you just push that in, and there you go. It snaps in straight away, and your PS Vita is secure. Very secure. It doesn't slip off. And it's very tight. It's very comfy as well. I like it. And even more better, it's got this little tiny thing here. And how you do that? Well, you can put this, you take this thing out, and you can stand it up, and you can stand it up or something. Like if you're playing a PS Vita on a table, or you want to watch a movie, want to watch a movie, you can stand it up like this. I'm going to be doing that for some films I'm going to watch soon. So it's pretty cool. And I've been playing a fair amount of PS Vita lately. Mostly just remote play stuff. Like I've tested remote play Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 version. Tales of Berseria and Tales of Systeria. I wanted to go back to those. I haven't tried any of the other games on my PlayStation Vita. Oh, and aside from one other game which I'll possibly talk about later as well. So yeah, I got this. So yeah, really cool grip device. I actually got this for £11.50. I've been wanting to get a grip for the PlayStation Vita as well. But the problem is with some PlayStation Vita grips, some can cost like insane prices. Like I saw one on CEX. The grip they were selling for, which I think is a remote play version of the PS Vita grip, cost like 32 quid for it. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I'm just gonna stick with something like this. This one it utilizes all the touch controls very well. And you can like touch the rear screens just fine. I can touch all the buttons and such. I can reach them just fine, and I can play my games as a spare PS4 controller just fine. So yeah, I quite like this. The only thing I need to get now for the PS Vita is a memory card. I'm gonna be saving up for a memory card for the PS Vita. Probably a 32GB one or a 64 one if I just happen to find it just out of pure luck. Like I've been with one franchise, which I'll get to in just a moment. So there you go. I'm going to put this over here now. So that is my grip. Right, and now we're on to a game now. On the PlayStation 3 I have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. See? Yep, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes on the PS3. I got this in Newport for £2.99. That's £3. And I think, yeah, why not? I'll get it. Because I'm extremely interested in returning to Metal Gear Solid. I have not played a Metal Gear Solid game since Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and that was like a long time ago. I did play some of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, yeah, which is where this game takes place from this one. But other than that, I have not played a single Metal Gear Solid game afterwards. And one thing to say, the original Metal Gear Solid game was something that I'll always will always be something that I'll always have childhood memories of. And I really need to get that game again. Like, I need to download the original Metal Gear Solid game again. And thankfully there's PSN downloads. And thankfully it's on the PlayStation Network store, which I can get for very cheap. Or if I just happen to find like a physical copy of it, and I can just download it that way. And I can just purchase it that way. What am I talking about? I can't download hard copies of games. What am I thinking? But either way, Metal Gear Solid is a fantastic game series where it's all about stealth, and you have to avoid detection from enemies and get to your objectives as quietly as possible without alerting enemies near you. Because if you do get spotted, you are screwed. Blimey, is it getting dark already? Oh well. Well, in any case, guys, I just turned on the light because it was getting too dark. And I hope you guys can see it. And I'm unable to see it. See it without me having to turn my chair where my camera is. Oh well. But in any case, back to this. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid is a stealth game series meant to avoid enemy detection, because if you are inevitably detected by enemies, enemies will call in reinforcements to surround you and kill you. And you have to try and evade enemy actions, the enemies as possible. Like find a safe spot to hide. You can fight your way out of some fights, but it's not to say that you will escape unscathed. Because if you try to fight your way out, enemies will call more reinforcements and they'll try and kill, and you're going to inevitably just run out of ammo and die. And of course the game over screen is very iconic. So familiar whenever you do lose. And one of the quotes in the opening, that's also very familiar as well. I thought that was very familiar as well. I like that. From the excellent nod to the original game. So yeah, I really wanted to play the Metal Gear Solid games again. I'm hoping to find this for the PS4, and what is it, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain for the PS3 as well. Because I also do have Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain on my PlayStation Plus, on my PlayStation 4 as a PSN Plus download. I got the full game for free as a PSN Plus download. And it's not bad, and it's really good. I actually love it. I've gone through the first act of it, the first 2 acts of it, and I'm actually really enjoying it. What else? And I also hope to find the other Metal Gear Solid games as well. Like there's a Metal Gear Solid HD collection for the PS3 and the PS Vita, which have Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 and Metal Gear Solid the Peace Walker, I believe. But there's also the complete collection on the PlayStation 3. I think it's what it's called, the complete collection. There's like a complete massive Metal Gear Solid collection, which includes Metal Gear Solid, which includes not only Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, Peace Walker, but it also includes Metal Gear Solid 4 and the original 2 Metal Gear games on the MSX as well, which I think which are also included in the Metal Gear Solid 3. Which I think were also included in the Metal Gear Solid HD collection as well. And it does include the original Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid VR training missions, but they're a PSN download. So if I happen to find it second hand, chances are the code's already going to be used. Oh well, but that's no big deal. I'm also going to hopefully find the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the PS Vita as well, which I think that it'll have separate trophies from the PS3 version as well for the collection. So if I want extra trophies, I can get that as well. And the Metal Gear Solid games are fantastic. Yeah, shame with all the, Konami and the Hideo Kojima thing. And Metal Gear Survive, one of the worst Metal Gear games in existence. Trust me, it's a giant slap in the face. But the proper Metal Gear Solid games, they're the one, Metal Gear Solid 1 to 5, including the original Metal Gear games on the MSX. They're the Metal Gear games you need to check out. If you love storytelling in games, Metal Gear Solid, you can't be faulted. The stories are fantastic, even at times confusing. I do find Metal Gear Solid 2's story a little confusing, way too confusing to follow. Maybe it's because I played it at such a young age. And I was like 15 when I first played Metal Gear Solid 2. And I was 10 years old when I played Metal Gear Solid the original for the first time. And like a lot of it, it did take me like a long time to understand. It would take like a very long time for me to understand. But alas, this is one piece to the Metal Gear Solid pile that I'm going to hunt down eventually. And the others I'm going to hunt down eventually. And I do enjoy the Metal Gear Solid games, even with like the whole confusing story elements to it. But alas, they're great. And I'm hoping to get the other ones very, very, very soon. Now then, be right there for a moment. Now I'm going to interrupt all of this because I'm going to give myself a little quick late celebration. Happy birthday, Thomas, from yesterday. This video was going to be posted up, but I've seen how poorly done the quality was of this video, and I couldn't at times see it very well, so I decided to redo it. So I've decided to put this as a little quick celebration for your birthday. Happy birthday, Thomas, from yesterday. And for this part, I'm going to be putting a celebration dedication to this tune. Because what I'm about to show you is is games from this particular series you're quite fond of. So I figured I'm putting the music on now. Recognize it? If you recognize it, that's because what I got this week, what I got this month is that's right, I got Hyper Dimension Neptunia, the Hyper Collection on the PS3, and Mega Tag Mention Blanca Neptune vs. Zombies for the PlayStation Vita. I got myself some Hyper Dimension Neptunia this month. These two appeared unexpectedly, and I thought I better get those before someone luckier than I am gets his hands on it before me. So yeah, that's exactly what I've done this month. I got myself two, not just two Hyper Dimension Neptunia games, but 4 Hyper Dimension Neptunia games. 3 on the PS3 and 1 on the PlayStation Vita. Last month I got Hyper Devotion Noir on the PS Vita. Yeah, Hyper Devotion Noir. And that one just appeared all of a sudden, suddenly. And I figured I'd get that. And now these two suddenly appeared. One in Newport and one in Cardiff. So I was lucky to get my hands on those. Although this one didn't come very cheap. This one was like 40 quid. Hyper Dimension Neptunia, the Hyper Collection, costed 40 quid in CEX. This one costed 20 quid. which are fine, considering they're not very common series of games. You wouldn't find much of these anywhere. So, and why did I end up getting these? Well, it's because I'm somewhat interested in these Hyper Dimension Neptunia games. It's a franchise I'm mostly very, very curious of. And since I watched Thomas Bivey's old YouTube video on his old channel, where he talked about the Hyper Dimension Neptunia universe, it kind of eventually I ended up eventually getting some of the Neptunia games myself, and ended up looking into what the hell this series was about. And then I ended up laughing at the series of what the hell, what it actually is. But to some people who don't know what the High Dimension Neptunia series is all about, it's a series of Japanese role-playing games where it makes jokes out of the gaming industry. That's right, you heard me. It makes jokes out of the gaming industry. It makes because these characters in the game, they're all personifications of the real life gaming consoles. Like you got one girl who personifies the PlayStation 3, one girl personifying the Xbox 360, and one girl who personifies the one girl who personifies the Nintendo Wii. And they changed the names to like PlayStation, Leanbox, and Lowy, which are funny. And all these girls there are playing out a console war, determine who is the strongest of all goddesses. But there's a fourth goddess, Neptune, the protagonist here. Neptune here, this girl here, who is the protagonist of the series, who represents the cancelled Sega console called the Sega Neptune, which if that console was released, it would have been the combination between the Sega Mega Drive and the Sega 32X consoles, if that such a console was released. So that's entirely what the plot of it is. It's ridiculous. But holy mackerel, is it hilarious. Because the main protagonist Neptune is like Deadpool. And how so? Because she constantly breaks the fourth wall, spewing out dozens of gaming references. You know, like at the start of the game, she references Sonic the Hedgehog of the original game. She references Sonic the Hedgehog, and whenever something goes out of hand, she has to make complaints to Idea Factory, which are like the makers of this game. Trust me, a lot of it is just funny. I'm not a person who watches Deadpool, but I do get a lot of fourth wall breaking jokes because I've watched them as I remember playing Metal Gear Solid. So I remember playing the Metal Gear Solid, the original, and enjoying the fourth wall breaking joke of Psycho Mantis, which is one of the most famous fourth wall breaks in video game history. So yeah, I really like Neptunia games for the concept, with all like these girls play out console war, and they personify the real life gaming consoles. And this is a series where like a lot of people just don't seem to like it as much. I think it's the majority of critics. I'm seeing some majority of fans, anime fans, really liking the Hyperdimension Neptunia series for what it is, because like it's a hilarious parody to various other anime, manga and video games cultures, and it's just hilarious. And when I watched Thomas Spivey's old YouTube channel about the series, I eventually started looking into the Hyperdimension Neptunia series, and when I looked on PSN Store one day, I ended up seeing this one, which ended up being the Hyperdimension Neptunia I wanted to try out. And then I ended up getting Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed as a digital game, because I saw it on a sale for like £7 or something. As well as that, the original Hyperdimension Neptunia, which I saw in game when I was in Bridgend, and I've only played like the first hour of Neptunia, of the original Neptunia. I have not touched any of the other free Hybrid Dimension Neptunia games that this one has, that this collection has. I've only touched the original one, and I'll go into the details about that in a moment. This collection here has 2 and 3, which is Hybrid Dimension Neptunia Mark II and Hybrid Dimension Neptunia Victory, which is indeed the third in the series. My first real taste into Hybrid Dimension Neptunia came with this one, because I played through this one fully from beginning to end. Got this one for Christmas last year, and I was happy to finally play through this after I've done all the final open world 15 or whatever the crap that game is now. And I did a YouTube playthrough of this, and you can see all the videos I've done on this game. It doesn't include any commentary on it, but I remember enjoying this game quite a lot. And I did remember enjoying this game quite a lot, even with some of the shortcomings with the combat. Like the hit detection isn't quite great, just at times the counterattacks don't work properly like they should. Like it just passes through enemies and it doesn't do it. Alright, I'm back. I put the next song on from Hybrid Dimension Neptunia. I put Hybrid Dimension Neptunia's opening tune instead next. Alright, so anyway, back to this one. Yeah, I remember going through this, and it has flaws. The counter attacks didn't quite work out very well. But aside from that, I really enjoyed it, and I did give a full review on it on my GameSpot channel. And it has given me more curious to have a look at the other games in the series. And I'm planning to have a look at the original Hybrid Dimension Neptunia in March next year. I've done a couple of other games I wanna do. Yeah, because next year we're gonna have the Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. I want to play through that one, and I might have other Tales of games I want to finish up as well at the time. Yeah, so my next couple of months, so I'll explain what my upcoming plans are in a moment. So I'm going to talk about the original Hybrid Dimension Neptunia. So like I said, I've only touched the first Hybrid Dimension Neptunia game. 2 and 3, I've only registered the trophies. I only touched them for like a couple of seconds just to register the trophies. But I have downloaded the DLC content for the free games. That's right, I've downloaded the DLC for the free games. There's free DLC you can look on the PSN Network store for those. And I got the DLC, for them. The majority of them are for free, but then there's like a couple of ones you have to pay like money for, and it's just for character, and it's just to include other characters, which also reference other companies and other franchise, and some game franchises, what is it? Nissa and Gus, I think, who reference Nis America and the company Gus, I think, for the original Hybrid Dimension Neptunia. I'm not sure. I need to play it for myself. I really need to play for the original one and get those. Who knows? And Hybrid Dimension Neptunia Mark II, I've got DLC content for those. I think, I'm not sure about the DLC. I'm not sure if there's any character DLC for those ones, for the second game. But I know Hybrid Dimension Neptunia Victory has DLC content characters for what is it? Characters like Tekken, referencing Tekken, Broccoli, Mages, and Kids IF and Kids Compa, which are like the younger versions of IF and Compa, who reference Idea Factory and Compile Hearts. They're like the poster characters for those, for the series. Yeah, because you gotta have them in it. But I've only touched, and again, like I said, I've only touched the first hour of High Dimension Neptunia. And when I played the original, and here's the thing with the High Dimension Neptunia, the original one, I actually put it down on, I actually put the original High Dimension Neptunia game on my list, on the top 10 worst RPGs of all time list. And even before I actually got around to playing it. Yeah, like, see, here it is again. I'll put it on my top 10 worst RPGs of all time before playing it. But since playing it, I've had a bit of an attitude change toward it, and I don't think it's as bad I originally thought it is. And I do not think it's as bad other people make it out to be. Yeah, it's a game series that's got a ton of fans. It's heavily known for its fan service, its constant fan service. Yeah, which either it's gonna make, either some adults will think it's fine, will not mind it, or some adults will not like it. I'm one of those adults that doesn't mind it too much. Just when it gets too explicit, but that's when I would draw the line. I mean, it isn't too bad. I mean, there are times you can just look away. I mean, if you don't like it, if you don't like the fan service, you can just look away from it. Like, close your eyes until the cutscene is over. That's what I would do if I end up seeing some of the fan service. And yeah, and the character, and that makes sense. And for some people that don't like the fan service, it's either because like the majority of the characters are just too young. And then the majority of the characters, because some of the characters do look like 12-year-olds. Mainly someone like Neptune, Blanc, they look like 12-year-olds. Ram and Rom, who personified the Nintendo DS, they look like 8-year-old kids. And such. And all the party members in the game, in the High Dimension Neptunia universe, are all female. Like with a game like Final Fantasy X-2. That game only had female playable characters. But either way, I still like the High Dimension Neptunia games, and I'm curious to see what the original one is like. And again, guys, I've said this multiple times, I've only made it up to like the first dungeon after the tutorial. That's about as far as I've played. And so far, what I like about it is the dialogue on it. The dialogue on it is just hilarious. Like I said, it's got tons of fourth-wall breaking humor, dozens of game references that you'll see a couple of miles away if you know them, if you recognize some of the references. What else? But one thing that I would mention of Neptunia games, the moment some people, including my friends, truly find poor about the High Dimension Neptunia game, the original one, is the bizarre healing system. Instead of a system where like you can just heal any of your party members with just a healing item at any time you wish during a fight or outside of combat. Instead, you've got like this chance system where if you put enough skill points to it, it'll increase the chances that party member will use an item to heal one. And there'll be chances like they'll use it, and sometimes they won't. And it can be taxing when you don't have enough on hand ready. For me, it might not be that big of a deal, considering like if you come back out and come back in, if you come out of the dungeon and come back in, you're already healed up, ready for the next fight. Which I think could save a lot of uh, healing, save a lot of healing items and such. But it has a neat combo system, which I think is pretty cool. And plus you can summon images from your PlayStation 3's console hard drive, which can be used in battle, which I think is pretty cool. And it even shows on the back of the box the original game. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a big bad cough. It shows on the back of the cover on the original game, Neptune's summoning Ultimate Beast. Which the first time I saw it at my friend's house, I thought that's really rad. Because Neptune's summoning Ultimate Beast. That was wicked. So yeah, I'm gonna mention Neptunia. And I will check out the other games when if I do decide to have a look at those as well. And I will show you the other games now I'm going to mention Neptunia I got. Right, I put the next one on, the next tune on, I'm going to mention Neptunia Universe. I'm going to show off the other I'm going to mention Neptunia game I got. Blanc and Neptune versus Zombies. This one's a very bizarre entry in the series. Why do I think that is? Well, number one, this one is set in a school. That's set about to close. And how does it close? Now do people know that it's going to close? Well, because Neptune breaks the fourth wall, saying, "What? It's going to close? But the game just started." Oh, that's funny. Good old Nep-Nep. Right, so Blanc and Neptune vs. Zombies. Actually, the plot in that one is that the school becomes infested with zombies, and the girls decide to shoot a movie around them. Yeah, that's ridiculous. This is an entry in the series that's made by Tamsoft. And I think it's the first in the series where they bring, Tamsoft, who personifies Tamsoft. And she is in, in this game, in Simon Dimension Neptunia as well. What else? And the protagonist in this one is Blanc. Blanc's the CPU, and Blanc is the CPU character personifying Nintendo consoles, namely the Nintendo Wii. And Blanc is a particularly funny character for me for a couple of reasons. Mainly because of how quickly she loses her temper. When her sisters torment her, or when certain other things anger her, she unleashes the red eye stare. The red eye angry face, I should say. And trust me, the first time I saw it in Simon Dimension Neptunia, I was laughing my face off. I was staring at the screen laughing. Trust me, it was worth it just to see. It's worth making Blanc angry just to see that. Ah, trust me, I love that face. I like that face. It's hilarious. But in any case, Blanc is the protagonist of this game and not Neptune. Well, Neptune kind of shares the protagonist role with Blanc on this one. And I think it's the same case with Super Dimension Neptune. Neptune, which I also got for my birthday, which has IF as the protagonist and not Neptune. And Hyper Devotion Noir, where Noir is the protagonist and not Neptune. So it's 3 games in the Neptunia series where Neptune is not the protagonist, but instead someone else. Oh yeah, and Hyper Dimension Neptunia Mark 2, that had Netgear as the protagonist, not Neptune. So that's 4 games in the Neptunia series where Neptune is not the protagonist, but all the other ones, Neptune is the protagonist. And why is that? Because Neptune breaks the 4th wall to mention that all the time, in each and every single game. Which is funny. So, Mega Dimension, Blanca Neptune vs. Zombies. I've only played the first hour and a half of it this time. In which I played pretty much, I think, the first 4 acts. Or 3 acts. I think it's 3 acts I played. Where you're slowly introducing yourself to the other characters. You know, Bert, Noir, Ram and Rom, and all that. And I have downloaded some of the DLC, some of the free DLC for it. It's just mainly just a couple of items. What else? A free outfit, which is the Color Sweet Skin outfit for Blanc. And a support character, Netgear. Not Netgear as in G-E-A-R. Netgear as in G-Y-A. Who is like this freaky Netgear. Who is like this, who is basically Netgear, but with a very freaky face. And I actually have her in as DLC and I downloaded DLC. And I downloaded the Netgear DLC for Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. Although I haven't had a chance to try it. Yes, I might. Just to see what Netgear was like. And all that I need to say is that face. She is just freaky. And the first time I saw her, I was like, is that meant to be Netgear? I mean, what the hell's with the face? It's gonna be weird having to see her in action. But in either case, I have got the DLC for this game. I tested 1 hour and 30 minutes of this, and it's okay, just repetitive. And it's weaker compared to Hyper Dimension U Action Unleashed, in which that one actually is a lot much more interesting to play through. I'll go through and I'll talk about that one after I talk about the other Neptunia games I've got. So yeah, Nazis. I'm going to do is Zombies. Proud to have that one in. This is a double-sided game as well. The other ones have got, some of the games have got double-sided ones, but some of them, like this one, have got 2-sided covers. So you can have this one or this one. So, and I'm going to stick with this, and I'm sticking with this one, just for Neptune. Alright, so we're going to take a look at, so I'm going to show you all the Neptunia games I have. I have got the original Hyper Dimension Neptunia, Hyper Devotion Noir, Super Dimension Neptune vs. Sacred Heart Girls, Cyber Dimension Neptunia, Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, or Victory 2. Hyperdimension Neptunia, the Hyper Collection. And lastly, Hyperdimension, Megadimension, Longer Neptunus and Zombies. I had to read them. All. So these are all the ones I have in physical form. Well, this one doesn't count now because I got this in the Hyper Collection now. So technically I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Neptunia games in physical form. Now I have 2 other games in the Hyperdimension Neptunia franchise as digital. Like I said, I got Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed as a digital game in a deal, but I also have Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, which is a remake of the first Hyperdimension Neptunia game. Now, the original, it did get a European release, but only in digital. There are no physical copies of Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, so if you want to pick up that game, right, here we go. Go to the next song on, just for the fun of it. So like I said, I've got 2 of the Hyperdimension Neptunia games in digital form only. Number 1, Action Unleashed, mainly because like I saw it on the sale for the cheap price, but I also got Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, which it did get a European release, but it only got released as a digital only game. Mainly because there was a blog online I looked at that Idea Factory were not able to release physical copies of it. I think it was due to funding issues. They're only a small company, so what do we know? What else? I've only played 2 levels of Action Unleashed, and that one's pretty funny, because in that one, I've seen a bit of it. I played a bit of it, and I think what happens in that one is, when the characters take damage, their clothes get torn apart, and Neptune and the others break the 4th wall. Distinction. Hang on. Our clothes ended up breaking apart? This didn't happen in any of the other games. How are we ever gonna fix this? Idea Factory, I thought we had a deal not to cross this line. Trust me, it was weird. The first time I was like, what? Huh? How did that happen? And it did, and I eventually did get an achievement where it did, and I did get a trophy where it was actually meant to happen, where the clothes come apart. Because you get a trophy if you let your clothes get torn apart. So yeah, I did play 2 levels of it, and it's one level where you're playing as the main CPUs, and the other level is when you're playing the CPU candidates, where you get to learn the characters. It's got this gameplay that's very repetitive, hack and slash stuff, but it's alright. Might be a bit repetitive, but it's fine. And Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, I only touched it for a few seconds just to register the trophies, because again, I want to play through the original Hyperdimension Neptunia game before maybe I tackle a remake. So that is basically my thought on the other Hyper Dimension Neptunia games. I got the DLC content for the games I want to go through. And I'll tell you I'll tell you the progresses I have for the other games. Not counting Hyper Dimension Neptunia because I've already finished it. So I'll talk about the other Hyper Dimension Neptunia games now. Super Dimension Neptune is a Sega Argos. I've only done one video on this. You can see on my YouTube channel my reaction to one of the scenes in the game. It was insane. I was laughing my head off for 5 minutes because of that scene. This is one where you're playing as IF. And what else? I'm only at the part when I just got into the past, and I think it's where you meet Sega Saturn. I think I need to play it. I need to go back to it and see. Hyper Devotion Noir. I've only played the first 2 acts of it. And it's the fight where, and the beginning part is where you play the prologue, and the fight against Neptune, Blanc, and Vert. And you know what's funny? This is the first. The Wars takes on three goddesses by herself, and she succeeds, unlike Neptune, who fights the 3 goddesses and loses. Blanc, Neptune, Zombies, I've already talked about that one. The original game I've already talked about. Your 2 games, Mark II and Victory, I have not attached properly. Only just attached the trophy, only just for trophy purposes. Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, I have not properly started the game, but I only touched a bit of it just to register the trophies and just see the game working. And again, I have bought the Nep-Nep DLC for it, which means I can have Nep-Nep in. So that's pretty much all the Neptunia games I've got to talk about. So I'm very intrigued in the Neptunia universe. They're not as amazing or great as, you know, some of the Final Fantasy or good Final Fantasy games, or the Dragon Quests, or the Tales franchise, or Pokemon. But Neptunia is a good and underrated series by itself. I mean, it's got its charm to it, and it's got a sense of character to it. I mean, it's got all these different girls personifying various consoles. It's got all these kind of things. It's all about making jokes out of the industry, on the gaming market. It's got all these kind of things that is at times hilarious and ridiculous, but the game knows it, and it wants to have as much jokes with you as much as possible, and that's the whole charm of it. I like it. Definite. It may be ridiculous, but I plan to go through it. And like I said, I plan to go through these in March. And there are plenty of reasons I've been wanting to go through some of the Hyper Dimension Neptunia games. Number one, they have particularly very easy platinum trophies. Number two, there are some good ones in the franchise. Like Super Dimension Neptune vs. Egg Girls might be a pretty good one to have a look into. Mega Dimension Neptunia is quite good. Mega Dimension Neptunia V2 is good. And I will also be getting a remake for Christmas, Mega Dimension Neptunia V2R, which is a revamped version of it, with and with the ability to go VR as well, even though I don't have PlayStation VR to play it. But I'm going to add it in regardless, because it'll be good for the Platinum Trophy. What else? Honestly, my friend showed me, my friend Thomas showed me a hilarious mod for Grand Theft Auto where it featured the Neptunia characters in it. And the first time I saw it, I was just like, what the hell? Even my friend's reaction was like that as well. What made me want the beep? And I saw, what is it? A Call of Duty mod. What was it? A Neptunia mod for Call of Duty, that's it. Where they replace, for Call of Duty Black Ops 3, where they replace all the characters with Neptunia characters. And I was reading it, and it's just like... And that was one of the most popular mods of all time. Because that mod has been taught all over gaming blogs. Especially on Konaku, GamePro, whatever, GameSpy. Like all of the latest blogs were meant. We're talking all sorts of news about Call of Duty Black Ops 3 have pointed out the Neptunia mod. And literally like thousands of people just literally making jokes and just laughing at it. Right, back again guys. Right, so what was I going to say? Yeah, the Neptunia mod for Call of Duty Black Ops 3, they had, oh, who was it? It turns like an insanely, it turns in like Call of Duty into like an insane laughing stock, and it can be used like in single player and in the and no, and it turns like everything into an insanely laughing stock. And trust me, I saw it for myself, the videos of it, and it just looks hilarious. If I had the PC version of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, yeah, it's a PC mod, not for the consoles, sadly. Then I would like to try the Neptunia mod out, because I think that looks hilarious. Because I think that's just hilarious. And I'm thinking. And I think what I have to say is, Neptunia really becomes targeted for mods, for game modders, because they started doing mods of Neptunia for other PC ports of games as well. Not just Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty, but Resident Evil 4 as well. I've seen a bit of that. When Leon's replaced with Uzume from Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, I think. I'm wrong. Who replaces Ashley. Yeah, wouldn't it make sense if it was Blanc playing Leon S. Kennedy instead of Uzume? Yeah, that's what I would think. And what else? And I think that... and there's other Neptunia games I haven't got as well. So yeah, like I said, I've got 10 Neptunia games now. I've got currently 8 of these in physical form. I'm counting the original, because I am going to trade that in for something else. I'm going to go into CEX in Newport on the weekend, and I'm going to trade the original High Dimension Neptunia in for a different game. And what else? There's what else? But I have got 8 of these now, 8 of these in physical form. And two of the games I have on my PlayStation, and two of the video game installments on my PS TV. The only Neptunia games I do not have are Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2, Sisters Generation, which is a remake of the second game, and Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 V Generation, which is a remake of the third game. Mega Dimension Neptunia V2R, which is a remake of Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, and Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection, which I've checked on Thomas Bivey's PlayStation PSN Network account. It should be an easy platinum to get, because he beat the game in less than 3 hours. He beat the game in like 3 hours. I'm like, wow. A whole Neptunia game you beat in 3 hours. Wow. Let me guess. All you need to do is just see one of the end. You just need to see the true ending for each 4 of the goddesses, and then you immediately just get the trophies for the other endings. I'm guessing, because if that's true, then I've got an easy platinum trophy on my hands. So that's basically all I got. So that's basically everything I got. I got some Neptunia games. I'm gonna talk about some of the other games I got from my some of the games I've been playing recently. So Neptunia side, I've recently been playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Yeah, last month we had Castlevania Requiem re-release on the PS4, which is a re-release of Castlevania Rondo of Blood and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night on there. It was fantastic. I love Symphony of the Night. I used to love playing that when I was in I think when I was in the end of my school year. When I was playing games on emulators. Can't remember now. Was it I played it in high school, then I eventually got on the Xbox 360, and then I eventually got on the, and the Xbox 360 port was good, although it lacked the FMV cutscenes and and then eventually they started releasing it on the PSP as well, part of Dracula X Chronicles, and that version of Symphony of the Night on the Dracula X Chronicles is the version they put on the PS4 version, and I don't mind it. Actually, I don't mind the redub voice acting, because I played the original before and enjoyed it, and I played the redub version, and it's good. It has the some new content that was never in the PS1 version, but it doesn't have the new maps from the Japan-only Saturn port. But at least it has Maria in it. At least you can play as Maria on it. Because I know in the original game you can play as Richter when you finish the game. But through the Maria and Richter modes, they're more harder than the main game itself. Because the main game is a platform action RPG, or what fans tend to refer to them as Metroidvania. But it was a brilliant game for its time. It was a brilliant game, and it still holds up fantastically. I mean, it's still a masterpiece, even with the redub changes. But at least it has Michelle Roof doing the voice of Maria. At least that's one positive. So Is there anything else I need to say? And I've also been playing Star Wars Battlefront, the 2017 version, as well. I've been playing a bit of the multiplayer on that, doing the trophies as well. I'm down to the Starfire trophies, and once I do that, all I have left is just playing for the single player. And I do not think that the game has any single player trophies that would force you to play it on different difficulty, or require you to play it on the highest difficulty setting. You can just play it on like the easy difficulty and you'll still get all the trophies for it. Alright, last jump cut here. So that's the cat. But what games am I going to be doing now? So what games am I going to be doing next? Right, I'm going to start Tales of Innocence next. I've been wanting to start Tales of Innocence, but I haven't been giving myself the chance to do so. Because of the other stuff I've been focusing on. Adventurous Worlds, I'm still trying to get myself back onto that one. There was a war recently that just suddenly appeared on the day I would least expect it. And then we ended up losing the war. Because nobody on the good side was playing. Because I had some schedules to sort out and whatnot. What else? And then what else? Yeah, Tales of Innocence is the game I'm going to be focusing on. And I got 4 top 10 lists I'm going to be working on as well. So I'll get to work on those eventually. And I think that'll possibly be about it. I think I'll leave it at that. So at the moment my mind's just going a bit blank. So I don't think I have anything else to say. So that'll do for it, guys. So I got myself some good new titles. Plan to get myself a memory card for my PS Vita soon, but I'll keep it on CEX for those. Few ones pop up. I'll try and keep my money saved up for one of those. Unless something else unexpectedly pops up and I'll end up getting that. So this will do for it this time, guys. So I'll leave it off for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. So I've been lost in thought there. Just trying to figure out what to say. But other than that, guys, I've got nothing else to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of this, all of that. Enjoyed what I got. And I hope to see you all in the next video. And also to Thomas, happy birthday from yesterday. So this video got a little bit late. I tried to do a recording, but the video quality was so poor and I couldn't make it out very well. And I hope the frame rate is alright and everything. I hope you can see everything. Because wow, it's getting all that, because you know all that lateness that's getting now, because we're getting late into the year now, and it's getting dark really early. December games, I'm not sure if I'm going to end up picking any games throughout December aside from games I'm going to have throughout December, but oh well. So aside from that, hope you guys have a nice time, and I'll see you all in the next video. So I'll see you all guys in the next time. Take care of yourselves and goodbye. Was it that? I played in high school, then I eventually got on the Xbox 360, and then I eventually got on the, yeah, and the Xbox 360 port was good, although it lacked the FMV cutscenes and and then eventually they started releasing it on the PSP as well, Pilot Dracula X Chronicles, and that version of Symphony of the Night on the Dracula X Chronicles is the version they put on the PS4 version, and I don't mind it. Actually, I don't mind the redub voice acting, because I played the original before and enjoyed it, and I played the redub version, and it's good. And it's good. It has the some new content that was never in the PS1 version, but it doesn't have the new maps from the Saturn, from the Japan-only Saturn port. But at least it has Maria in it. At least you can play as Maria on it. Because I know in the original game you can play as Richter when you finish the game. But Figure Maria and Richter modes, they're more harder than the main game itself. Because the main game is a platform action RPG, or what fans tend to refer to them as Metroidvania. But it was a brilliant game for its time. It was a brilliant game, and it still holds up fantastically. I mean, it's still a masterpiece, even with the redub changes. But at least it has Michelle Roof doing the voice of Maria. At least that's one. At least that's one positive. So is there anything else I need to say? And I've also been playing Star Wars Battlefront, the 2017 version, as well. I've been playing a bit of the multiplayer on that, doing the trophies as well. I'm down to the Starfire trophies, and once I do that, all I have left is just playing for the single player. And I do not think that the game has any single player trophies that would force you to play it on different difficulty, that require you to play it on the hardest difficulty setting. You can just play it on like the easy difficulty and you'll still get all the trophies for it. Alright, last jump cut here. So that's the cut. But what games am I going to be doing now? So what games am I going to be doing next? Right, I'm going to start Tales of Innocence next. I've been wanting to start Tales of Innocence, but I haven't been giving myself the chance to do so. Because of the other stuff I've been focusing on. Venturous Worlds, I'm still trying to get myself back onto that one. There was a war recently that just suddenly appeared on the day I would least expect it. And then we ended up losing the war. Because nobody on the good side was playing. Because I had some schedules to sort out and whatnot. What else? And then what else? Yeah, Tales of Innocence is the game I'm going to be focusing on. I got 4 top 10 lists I'm going to be working on as well. So I'll get to work on those eventually. And I think that'll possibly be about it. I think I'll leave it at that. So I'm really, at the moment my mind's just going a bit blank. So I don't think I have anything else to say. So that'll do for it, guys. So I got myself some good new tiles. Plan to get myself a memory card for my PS Vita soon, but I'll keep it on CEX for those. Few ones pop up. I'll try and keep my money saved up for one of those. Unless something else unexpectedly pops up and I'll end up getting that. So this will do for it this time, guys. So I'll leave it off for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. Sorry I've been lost in thought there. Just trying to figure out what to say. But other than that, guys, I've got nothing else to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of this, all of that. Enjoyed what I got. And I hope to see you all in the next video. And also to Thomas, happy birthday from yesterday. So this video got a little bit late. I tried to do a recording, but the video quality was so poor and I couldn't make it out very well. And I hope the frame rate is alright and everything. I hope you can see everything. Because wow, it's getting all that, because you know all that lateness that's getting now, because we're getting late into the year now, and it's getting dark really early. December games, I'm not sure if I'm going to end up picking any games throughout December aside from games I'm going to have throughout December, but oh wow. So aside from that, I hope you guys have a nice time, and I'll see you all in the next video. So I'll see you all, guys, in the next time. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.